Hi, Sailor Mercury, Amy here, and today we're going to talk about how we got into Sailor Moon. Now, a lot of Sailor Moon followers, either they do or they do not make a film talking about how they got into Sailor Moon. Well, first off, how Duane got into Sailor Moon, let's go way back to the beginning. Now, a lot of Sailor Moon followers, Saga and Till, will start in 9 between 95 YL if they were living in the wanted Reichs in the settled land. For others, it might start either or it might start later. And he used to get up certain days, then either have UPN or WB on, and just happen to see followings of Sailor Moon, and then not think anything of the show, and then go for the rest of his day. Then years later, one day, nostalgia critic, well, I guess, what would the English word for that be? The old skaver looking, I guess, I don't know what you would say, was talking about Sailor Moon, and then that's when Duane thought, hey, I watched that back in the day. And then that's when he started watching the Deacon, the Cloverway one, on and off for years from sundriest websites. And he had been a follower of Sailor Moon ever since. Now I know there's going to be a lot of Sailor Moon followers who have watched it since 9 between 95 YL when the Deke one showed up in the settled land and the wanted rights, and then 20 when the Cloverway one showed up. And there's going to be folks who, still watch to this day. And even though the followership cannot make up its mind which English offshoot of Sailor Moon they like, is it Deke, Cloverway, or Viz, the one thing they have the same is that they're Sailor Moon followers. Well, even though Duane has only been a follower of Sailor Moon since 2008 YL, making him a latecomer to the whole show, where all the other followers have been followers for it for years. But his love for the show, I should say, well, I guess you want to say that, is the same as everyone else's. But in the early days of being a follower of Sailor Moon was not smooth for him. He was met with hate. Well, not from the Sailor Moon followership, no, but met from hate with other, hate from trolls and bullies out there. Well, you get hate from folks for no ground, sake, or why. And some folks out there that thought his take on Sailor Moon was the wrong take on it, you know. Anyway, if we overlook that stuff, then being in a followership was good. And it's true, he doesn't got every single doll ever made by Bandai and Irwin and Great Eastern Glee, like so many other folks out there do. And he might choose the Deacon Cloverway one over the Viz one. Or like the Deacon Cloverway one first and like the Viz one two forward. Doesn't make him any less a Sailor Moon follower or anyone else. So, how does one get into one? Did he why did he choose to get into Sailor Moon in the first stead? Well, there was just something about the show that he watched when he was younger and didn't say anything about it. Like it was just, some guilty fun, something you do that you have fun with but you're guilty about, so you don't tell anyone about and you don't say anything about it. Well, it was something like that, you know, where some folks out there, they have the things they like and they're not ashamed to talk about it. Well, for whatever ground, he would just watch the show and not say anything about it. Not that he was guilty about it or anything. Not that he felt guilty about watching it or anything. It was just, oh, okay, whatever. It's a show. It's on. I'm watching it. Whatever, you know. And let's not talk. And I know there's going to be some folks out there saying, well, you left out Renaissance. You left out Renaissance Atlantic. Oh yeah, New Birth C Glee's one, which didn't see the light of day until like many months ago. Yeah, he likes that one too. So, at the end of the day, getting into Sailor Moon, even though he has been in a Sailor Moon since 2008 YL, which gave him the thought of starting his YouTube fairway, because at the time there wasn't anyone else doing it. He may not be into the show as long as everyone else out there was, but his understanding and the folklore and all the things about the show, he knows probably as much about it as any other Sailor Moon follower does. Now, some Sailor Moon followers out there, and now we got offshoot a bit, might go on the, you know, have their own little take and thoughts and beliefs on the show, and it is what it is. Now, Sailor Moon might not be for everyone. Not everyone can get into it. That's true. You have, it is what it is. And if you're a Sailor Moon follower, it is hard to even know where to watch it at. Now, if you're watching the Viz one, oh, that's smooth because you can get the discs for that, or you can look on Tubi. Well, or if you have Hulu, if you're lucky enough and Hulu isn't fucking up, or whatever, then it's all great for you. Or watch cartoons online if you happen to be on a day when it's not having a bad day. Then you're set. When it comes to the Deke and Cloverway stuff, that's kind of harder. But at the end of the day, Duane got into the Deke and Cloverway offshoot of Sailor Moon, and when he thinks of Sailor Moon, those are the first two ones that come up. And some Sailor Moon followers, not all of them, but some of them will give others a hard time and say, oh, well, you should stop calling her Serena. Her name is Usagi. Well, man, your world. But in the Deke and Cloverway world, her name is Serena. Like my name's Amy in the Deke and Cloverway world, and it is what it is. And most likely, that's what my name would have been in the Renaissance Atlantic one too, or New Birth C. Anyway, I don't know. But this isn't about that. It's about how he got into a show, which did all right in the Wanted Rights, did great in the Settled Land, but did kind of all right wherever else it was. A show that, came right around was a show that, a show that was Might Keeper like, or at least enough like the Might Keepers that it had a luck. And whatever the grounds, yes, it's true. Sailor Moon might not be going on anymore unless you look at Sailor Moon Hearst and Sailor Moon Forever and Sailor Moon World as ongoing from that sense of it. But Duane is always will be a Sailor Moon follower, and it was just something about him getting into the show in 2008 YL, and why he will always be a Sailor Moon follower. And say what you want to say about folks that get you into things, But at the end of the day, he chose to be a Sailor Moon follower, and yeah, his take on Sailor Moon might not be the same as everyone else's take, and the Sailor Moon out there that he might like might not be yours, and you might scathe the sagas and tales that he writes about it and his take on it. But you can't say he doesn't love or look Sailor Moon any less than any other Sailor Moon follower out there. Now, anyway, that's all the time we got. If you like this film, follow me over here at Sailor Moon for Life, which is our handle, is Sailor Moon for Life. It just showed up 2 days ago, I think. What's the last film we made yesterday over there where they in the Elders with Holy Fellow Nicholas, which YouTube kind of fucked up on the likeness. Had no run a lead over that. I, Sailor Mercury Amy, and I'll see you later. Bye.